She got me feeling some feelings I ain't felt in a while. She got me thinking about marriage and her having my child. I buy her favorite with wine and give her all of my time. I thank the Lord for bringing her in my life. Yeah. We've been friends now for quite some time, and Lord knows more than friends is what I want in my mind. I told her how I feel, now our friendship's been jeopardized. She's blocking all my love, I give her space and some time. I fell in love with my friend, I don't apologize, no. She got me feeling some feelings I ain't felt in a while. She got me thinking about marriage and her having my child. I buy her favorite with wine and give her all of my time. I thank the Lord for bringing her in my life. Yeah. We've been friends now for quite some time, and Lord knows more than friends is what I want in my mind. I told her how I feel, now our friendship's been jeopardized. She's blocking all my love, I give her space and some time. I fell in love with my friend, I don't apologize, no. Even though our friendship has been jeopardized, I give her space and give her time. Every day that passes by, it's hard to get her out my mind. She's truly one of a kind. Love and friendship's hard to find. I can find another love, but don't wanna put in the time. I don't mean a moment and wine. I'm just really feeling hurt. I've been in love before, but this time feels like the first. I've been hurt before, but this time feels like the worst. I'm dealing with this pain as I ride in the yeah, come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it right. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. I try to go about my day, keep her out my mind. Get money, focus on my hustle and my grind. Sometimes after 1 a.m. she crosses through my mind. I think about our good times just to laugh, so not to cry.
Testing 1, 2.
She got me feeling some feelings I ain't felt in a while. She got me thinking about marriage and her having my child. I buy her favorite with wine to give her all of my time. I thank the Lord for bringing her in my life. Yeah. We've been friends now for quite some time, and Lord knows more than friends is what I want in my mind. I told her how I feel, now our friendship's been jeopardized. She's blocking all my love, I give her space and some time. I fell in love with my friend, I don't apologize, no. Even though our friendship has been jeopardized, I give her space and give her time. Every day that passes by, it's hard to get her out my mind. She's truly one of a kind. Love and friendship's hard to find. I can find another love, but don't wanna put in the time. I don't mean a moan and whine, I'm just really feeling hurt. I've been in love before, but this time feels like the first. I've been hurt before, but this time feels like the worst. I'm dealing with this pain as I write it in this verse. Yeah, come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep in mind, I gotta love myself first, I need some space and time. Come on, love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep in mind, I gotta love myself first, I need some space and time. Come on, love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep in mind, I gotta love myself first, I need some space and time. Come on, love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep in mind, I gotta love myself first, I need some space and time. Come on, love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep in mind, I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need some space and time. Come on. Love is bliss and love is blind. Love is often sought after, love is hard to find. And even though I'm seeking love, I gotta keep it for mine. I gotta love myself first. I need
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in my pocket, funds and all.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge. The point is, greed is good.
I got cash in all my pockets, funds in all my apps. Call up a girl with thorough sales, send her Uber, then Cash App. If she out, call, I pay gas. I might tip her if she got ass. I'm tricking cause I got it. I'm a boss, nigga, don't ask. Yeah, from boss mode to beast mode, back and forth I switch. Ask me a stupid question, I tell you to ask your bitch. Yeah, I'm trapping, I'm balling, I'm hustling, hood rich. Yeah, you wanna know about me, then you better ask your bitch. Yeah, whole money's for show money, I get fast money and slow money. All money's not good money, cause your money be so funny. I'm a boss dude making boss moves with a bad bitch with no attitude. She give me hate with gratitude, then clean my room and cook my food. If you broke, then get fixed, cause it don't make no sense. Being broke is the equivalence of ignorance, you bitch. If you broke, then get fixed, cause it don't make no sense. Being broke is the equivalence of ignorance, you bitch. Yeah, ask me for credit, you won't get it, you're just out of luck. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up. You need a loan until your payday, I don't give a fuck. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up. Get your money up, bitch, get your money up. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up. Get your money up, nigga, get your money up. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up. Yeah, I've been living my dreams. Fucking bitches and getting money off these pornographic streams. Yeah, I know my haters envy me. I live my life doing all the things they do in their dreams. Wake up, I sleep when I'm dead. Rest my eyes instead when I'm not chasing bread. I'm focused and determined to get my bread. For a man that don't hustle or grind won't get fed. Yeah, I got my bitch with yo bitch, cause yo bitch is my bitch. My bitch show yo bitch just how to throw my dick. Yeah, yo bitch is bad, but my bitch is better. Yeah, yo bitch got some ass, but my bitch ass is fatter. That means your bitch is the latter and your broke life don't matter. Fuck you, just pay me, your feelings don't matter. No handouts, no loans, God bless me with my own. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for I am not broke. If you're broke, then get fixed, cause it don't make no sense. Being broke is the equivalence of ignorance, you bitch. If you're broke, then get fixed, cause it don't make no sense. Being broke's the equivalence of ignorance, you bitch. Yeah, ask me for credit, you won't get it, you're just out of luck. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up. You need a loan until your payday, I don't give a fuck. Broke lives don't matter, get your money up.
Spanish, he had to say his name. Roll past fired up, we in the session. Roll past fired up, this is session. Roll past fired up, we in the session. We in the session. This is session. Roll past fired up, we in the session. Roll past fired up, this is session. Roll past fired up, we in the session. This is session. We in the session.
I roll past fire. This my confession. I smoke until I'm high. It ain't no limit. Watch me put two together, boy. Call it extension. Only smoke exclusive weed. I forgot to mention. And everybody find out. We in a session. Never smoke with broke niggas. You'll learn your lesson. When I smoke is way loud, and that's a blessing. I got grams, I got G's. My burger got double cheese. And I function when I'm high. It ain't no stressing, taking blunts down back to back. This lightweight wrestling, I be tangling, I be twisting. Could shit you like Sonny Liston. I can't even hear your loud nigga, but I'm trying to listen. These suckers out here hoping, they out here wishing that a nigga pie turned down. But it ain't no switching, you ain't look when I try to pass it, nigga. Two for not flinching when you hit a nigga phone. Don't be texting if you say we finna
roll past fired up. We in the session. Roll past fired up. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. We in the session. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. Roll past fired up. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. This is session. We in the session. Backwards and bone rips. All in my session. Hit it twice past that. That's a lesson. This fool brought a Swisher Sweet. What was he guessing? Oh, I forgot. First time to the session. And been a cookie treat. All in my session. Hennessy and blue drinks in my section. Yo, girl look hella thirsty. Need affection. What you do? Invite her to my session. West Coast nigga, I'm all about my section. Donuts and all that in my section. Babe boy, playboy, welcome to my section. Every time I need that, she bring it to my section. Smoking on the loudest shit in my session. Niggas can't f with this in my session. The backwood break a lung in my session. I'm in Denver with the Nuggets. That's a blessing. Roll past fired up. We in the session. Roll past fired up. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. We in the session. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. Roll past fired up. This is session. Roll past fired up. We in the session. This is session. We in the session.
Yeah, nigga. We out here trapping, nigga. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17.
Trapping on the block, yes, trapping on the block. Youngest on the pie, nigga, watch out and kick the glide. Gotta watch out for the car, cause yeah, shit be high. But I don't give a fuck by any means, so the stacks the nine. Niggas better peep it, me, the best kept secret. I do the damn thing, nigga, that's for sure. Yeah, so the players are on the block, letting them know. Yeah, nigga, what you screaming? HP, 2-4. Yeah, I represent, motherfucker, that's for sheezy. Swinging the DZs, brown to the DT. The game needs me, and that's for sheezy. Slinging from the west all the way to the east.
Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block, nigga.
Witness fit, I kill your dog if the bitch witness it. My temper is so friendless, not the relentless. I act on my shit list. In the words of 40, my rested pistless. Commies in trenches, selling your soul. Local business, my company get lit. For the cow banger in my midst. Training your kittens, bury you all in shallow ditches. Make deals with the devil. You bring the soul, I bring the shovel. I run with the rebels. Repent for sin, bring them on trouble. Tagging and bagging, cut us face just like a magnet from bumpers. I drive you. Behead your ass and glad back. I'm losing my brain. Shrink telling me I'm a singer. Order for day, cut up a flesh, nigga.
Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block with my Glock 17. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block. Trapping on the block, nigga, trapping on the block, nigga.
They say sky's the limit. I feel like I'm on the moon with this one right here. Ha yeah.
On the wave, ride like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money walking out the bank. You know the hustle no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. Keep my pockets on full like an ATM. I'm the nigga they love to hate but wanna be him. I understand why they mad, I probably hate me too. I'm up one, you niggas broke, so I don't fuck with you. We ain't got nothing in common, so ain't no need to talk. I'm on the paper chase, trying to fill up the vault. Look, I got kids to feed, so ain't no time to stall. I'm in the field running plays like I'm Randy Randy Moss, or maybe Marshall Fulton. Either way, I'm in my zone. And anywhere I go, you know I hold my own. A young king, nigga, I'm sitting on the throne. Keep all that hating shit, that's something I don't condone. On the wave, riding like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money, walking out the bank. You know the hustle, no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind, hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind, hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. Real nigga, solid like a brick wall. They said I wasn't gon' be shit, look at me now, dawg. Still independent, making moves like the majors, man. I stayed down and prayed up, I had a major plan. I took a couple losses, but had to bounce back. That's how it be sometimes when you fuck up the sack. Like a train that got derailed, I was off track. But the hustle in me wouldn't let me accept that. So I got back on my feet, 100 miles and running. They didn't believe in me, now they feel I owe them something. You niggas stop the frontin', you know I came from nothing. Got it out the mud, yeah, I was really hustling. On the wave, riding like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money, walking out the bank. You know the hustle, no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind, hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind, hard, ball, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us.
Yeah, this your boy DJ Ro. You're listening to The One, The Chosen. This is Anna's Historical Podcast Radio. We're gonna keep this going. Let's go.
Give you everything, would do anything for you. Now I'm gonna give it up, yeah. No, yeah. Give you everything, would do anything for you. Now I'm gonna give it up, yeah.
What's the feeling? It's euphoria. It's the type of love that directors make a story of. It's the type that makes you get a ring, have a wedding on the beach with your friends and a honeymoon in Kokomo. Man, she had my heart like an open door, overload. Fiend for her love like a drug and an overdose. Ignored the red flags, the Crips round some Suwus. Now I'm the fool, the one left jumping through hoops.
Baby, I go on my way to do things for you. So crazy, talking every speak rings for you. For the first time, I know what it feels to share. Whoa. But what good is that if getting hurt is all it does? Cause now I feel give you everything, nigga. Would do anything for. Now I'm gonna give it all. Give you everything, nigga. Would do anything for. Now I'm gonna give it all. Next week that we used to be gone away. Future we supposed to have thrown away. Ignoring all the signs that came along the way. So now we can't even get along today. Things went back. Where to go in time? Time went back. Where to go? Trying to show you life. Live before you. Do it only care. Giving up.
You started off so strong, I thought I met the woman for me. So I came more correct than any other one before me. I was looking past your scars, I was looking at your heart. You were looking out for you, I was looking out for ours. You say you ride or die, I think you like the sound of it. When the times are tough, you ain't the type to stick around for it. I ain't gonna be the one that's hounding it, I'm drowning it. Even though it's hard to take the steps to turn around from it. I ain't for the meddling or settling, especially when I can have it better with Loretta, Kim, and Evelyn. You can call it petty, but I revel it. Cause I was taking chances that had me completely out of my element. You ain't even deserve it, I gave it still. I done picked the groceries, made the meal, and paid the bill. And you ain't even had the decency to even clean the dishes. I'm finally chucking juices to this bitch, man. I swear she had me.
Give you everything, would do anything for. Now I'm gonna give it all. Gave you everything, would do anything for. Now I'm gonna give it up.
Sabor, con este ritmo.
El estilo está cabrón, es el estilo chichinchón. Aquí en esta fiesta está parada así condón. Bailando esta cumbia con los homies en la rampla. Primo con botazo que te toca toda al alma que te salga. Baba, con esa ensalada. Mueve la gordura, no me importan esas flacas. Así que muévete, suéltate y québrate la espalda. Quiero que me files para contar con mi espalda. Este es el fin de semana que comprar las pinches cheves. Tigres del norte, aquí en Califa somos jefes. Mi jefe somos reyes del hogar. En Oakland, California, aquí fumamos sin parar.
Chillin' with me, Padres, crazy. Mobbing with me, hombres, we going crazy. Rolling up fat J's, crazy. We do this all day. Mobbing with me, Padres, crazy. Chillin' with me, hombres, we going crazy. Rolling up fat J's, crazy. We do this all day. Mobbing with my vatos, we be trying to get cheese. Oh, yeah, you know nachos, Louis V. He one tough hombre. Rep the Giants, the A's, no Padre. Bay boy, riding in big toys. King Louis, your man down the best. Hands down, no question, your hands down, your hands up. We party hard, the girl going off Bacardi, oh God. I'm chilling with my squad, all about a decimal, all about a comma. On the 80-0 E-Trade, trying to look at my stock trade. Oh man, I'm trying to get paid. Chilling with me, Padres, crazy. Mobbing with me, hombres, we going crazy. Rolling up fat J's, crazy. We do this all day.
This is a tragedy. I can only imagine what these parents are going through. I think all of us have to do some soul searching to figure out how does something like this happen.
This is
Podcast
I'm
Radio.
a pot smoking, disrespectful asshole. From the bay, but left my heart in Castro. Busy writing lyrics, washing dishes for the cash flow. Hard to keep track of the goddamn gram smoke, but I gotta stay sane. You be with your dogs, I be with my Great Danes. They all call me Cash, I've been trying to make change. Could've moved to LA, they all do the same thing as me. Was recording with Don at Jay Lee. Jay Lee had about a half recording these songs, and maybe have to roll the blunt or two. Minimal talking, the smoking doesn't stop even after your mama walking blunts. I still being passed, still coughing, promising we gon' be real till we in coffins. Tryna make a slap that the movie girls can vibe to. R.I.P. my nigga, you know Mookie had to slide through. You know Spitter had to rhyme too. Me and my homies see the things that you're blind to. It's like you're blind fool. It's like your mind's fool. I got my mind full cause I stay mindful. Get stung if you threaten my beehive. Hate and get dissed and kiss my black behind. Good vibes, feeling better than a weed high. Trying to shoot some birdies but don't know when it's tea time.
Your love to me is very serious.
Yo, CA baby, West, hey yo, yeah, MC Riggs, hey, yo, what up? Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get dumb rich for myself, fuck a bitch. Raised in the gutter, I was taught not to trick. I kick game and ism is so slick, it's a blessing that I even exist. Trying to manifest my dreams and revenue streams. Lexus with the sun rubbed down to feel the breeze. Ratchet bitches in a bottle with Hennessy. I pop my collar, I know that they feeling me. I'm connected, don't make me your enemy. Legendary, speak on me for the centuries. I keep it playing, I guess it's a Cali thing. Authentic, not a script on your TV screen. See me with 40 midgets up in the limousine. Put your mind to it, you can do anything. Put your mind to it, you can do anything. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get filthy rich off of talking my shit. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get. Let's go, filthy rich off of talking my shit.
Energy made this one.
Yo, Biggs, man. GB shit, man. Right now, we rockin'. Okay. Alright. Big booty bitch. Big booty bitch. I said big booty bitch. Big booty bitch. I said, big booty bitch walk in the club booty stank. Damn, she had a dick back there, but a cootie stank. Flame up desire, my nigga need a new fragrance. Rolled up a 3 and popped the perk, I'm feeling lazy. 26 with a 50, that's my little baby. And she kinda crazy. I know, yeah, she kinda crazy. Fuck it, and she do you shady.
Yeah, it's about that time, y'all. Yes, it's that time, y'all. Anna's Historical Podcast. What's going down, Anna?
Hey, how you doing, Roselle?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
For some reason, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Hold on. I don't know why I can't hear you.
That's weird.
Hold on 1 second. I hear myself. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hear me? Can't hear you for nothing. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. This is killing me, dude. Speaker, head track, select speaker. Say something now.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
That is weird.
But you can hear me good, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Hold on. Check my audio. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what is going on right now. Testing. The microphone's working. Speaker. Say something now.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Okay, we good.
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what just happened, but
There's always something.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
But now I'm like, hold on now. This is weird. It's like I hear an echo.
Oh, that's so annoying. I hate that. Well, you did have 2 screens going, but you don't anymore. I mean, you did have 2 profiles up, but you don't anymore.
All right, let's see. Okay, so let's see if we're good now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, that was because I had my phone.
Okay.
I was testing it with something with my phone. Feels like I keep hearing the echo, but all right. I guess we're decent. I don't know why it's weird, like it's echoing though.
Weird. Yeah, well, hopefully the background noise from my neighbors doesn't get too bad. Oh shit. So I had this is just such classic Vallejo. the other night I was at home and I heard this woman yelling for help. So I grabbed my phone and I ran out on the street and I was calling saying, "Where are you?" But I was so conscious that the cops are most likely not going to come and I don't want to get killed. And that is my thing now. When I hear somebody yelling for help, it's like I ran out. I was trying to assess what was going on. I was calling like, "Where are you? What's going on?" But I was still like not getting too close because I don't want to die either. I don't want to die myself. So, and then at one point, it seemed like she was inside this porta potty that's there because of the street, because of the endless street construction. And I could hear it. I could hear this rattling. And I was starting to go back to my apartment to like pound on the door and get my neighbors to come down. I was like, I can't figure out what's going on with this situation. And if I phone for help, it's not going to happen. And I don't know if there's like a mass shooter or something. But then I saw a guy coming up from the street that had also heard her. So we were calling and I was saying like, "We're here to help you." And I said, "Are you alone?" Because I thought that there might be two people in the porta potty and that she was being raped in there or something. So, or that I was like, okay, does this person have a knife to her throat or something? Because she's quieted down. And the guy from the street, like, he recognized her voice and was calling to her, and she finally opened the door, and it was just another fucking mental health episode. So we were both saying like, please don't do that. We don't know what's going on. And I asked her if she needed some food or needed to go to the hospital, and she said no. And then I told my dad later, because for me, I mean, there was a time when I would have just been real heedlessly running out to see what was going on and what could I do, but I just value my life. And my dad was saying like, "Well, why did you go out there at all?" And I was like, "Dad, I'm not gonna just ignore somebody calling for help." And he's like, "No, okay." But so yeah, that's what's going on here. Vallejo City Council is banning ghost guns. Have you heard of ghost guns?
No, what are ghost guns?
It's guns that people can make, that you can just make with tools. And so they're, obviously not registered or anything. So it's just weird to me, because if that's the case, I would think everybody would have one. And also, I can't see how the city council has the power to do that. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, okay, wait a minute. If the gun, aren't the gun rights people gonna show up? But yeah, that's Vallejo for you. Never end. What I've been working on for the past couple of weeks is trying to get, or for months, is trying to get city council meetings sign language interpreted. That's just a big interest of mine as a political issue. For me, it's like voting. It's like having voting stations. And speaking of voting stations, the right to vote is under attack. Okay, here's another law I don't understand. Georgia passed a law making it illegal to give people that are waiting in line to vote food and water. So my attitude would just be, well, take that the fuck to court. How can that be legal? But
how are they going to make that illegal? How's that working?
I have no idea. They already, like they're doing, I mean, a lot of voter suppression has to do with cracking down, like making it harder to get absentee ballots. And there's a lot you can do claiming that you're safeguarding the process. There's a lot of ways to do that, and they are doing it. Biden just gave the strongest pro-voting rights speech ever of his career in Georgia. Georgia was instrumental in getting him into office. Georgia now has 2 Democratic senators for the first time, like ever. One's Black, one's Jewish. So I'm not sure, I don't know, but I mean, they are somehow managing to have less voting booths out, less polling stations. So yeah, sure as fuck not going to be anybody there trying to get political events sign language interpreted, because they don't want people to vote. So it was just, Stacey Abrams is going to be running for governor again, which is good, because I think one of the things about politics now is people expect things to happen really fast. I mean, Obama was elected president in his first term as a senator. Kamala ran for president in her first term as a senator. And we were, audience, we had like a preview today. It was like a practice for Global History Radio over lunch or breakfast. So yeah, we're really raring to go now. So people are real critical of Kamala Harris for unjustified and justified reasons. But it's a concern. I mean, she was barely in the Senate and did not build up relationships, and so that's a big deal. And I was talking about it with my brother, and I mean, and for me, the misogyny is just a big thing. She's my generation. I know where she's coming from, and that's huge. I mean, the misogyny, she gets this, as everybody knows. I mean, she gets this, just way more criticism than anyone else because she's a Black woman. And so, but she also is fucked up on stuff. I mean, I've been defending her about having a lot of her staffers leave, but that is bad. That's not good. I mean, Biden has people working with him that he's worked with for 30 years. Hillary had people working with her for a long time, even though, I mean, the Clintons definitely mowed through, they had people leave. Obama has a really tight circle that he's had for a long time, and a lot of people have left. And my brother pointed out that Kamala had her sister running her presidential campaign. So that's a real problem in how she runs things. That it's just a big concern. I mean, Trump is out in public, and my brother is really into this senator from Montana called Bill Tester, and Montana is how do I put it? It's just a state of very independent minded people, and they have continually they'll have a Democratic governor and Republican senators, or else the other way around. They're just real independent minded people. I mean, more people should be like that. So my brother was talking about whether this guy could run for president. And I mean, he's a farmer and has all these characteristics that people would like. And the fact that he's able to, you know, I mean, he's more likely to be popular with people in like the all powerful, precious Midwest, whatever. And so it's just frustrating to me because I don't think Kamala can win in 24, much as I want her so badly to. And what people are talking about Biden appointing her to the Supreme Court. And, you know, I mean, how the fuck, I can't see, I don't know, like if there's that would be a face-saving way for somebody else to run for president in 2024 if he doesn't. So, you know, I mean, we have a backward ass imbecilic country. People could you know, somehow, I mean, you know, people managed somehow to elect a black man and then they turned around and elected Trump. But I mean, what Stacey Abrams, but back to Stacey Abrams, I mean, when she lost, I mean, there were people that wanted her to run for president because she was close in Georgia. I'm like, no, she lost. We need somebody that can win and have it not be close. That's why we get into all these fucking problems. And that goes back. That is why I think that instead of worrying about the Electoral College, we should get better candidates that can win decisively. I think that is more, that's more effective. Because if you go in and like actually try and fuck around and change all this stuff, you'll get balled up forever. And when you do that, if you do that, to me, it betrays a lack of self-confidence and a lack of belief in yourself. It is similar. I mean, I think it's similar to like applying for a job, asking to have the requirements for a job changed before you apply for it. It's like, well, maybe then it's not the job for you. Biden now is on the bandwagon of getting rid of the filibuster. I'm just so fucking sick of this shit. Why can only racists take advantage of the filibuster? Why the fuck can't liberals learn to use the fucking filibuster for their advantage? I mean, because all it's saying is that basically you should have 60 people voting for something instead of being able to win with 51 over 49.
No, man, I think a lot of the system here and there needs to be changed. I don't know. It's just not working out. And the ones that use it, I think it benefits the people that know how to use it to their advantage. It doesn't benefit the other, even down to the electoral. I just don't think it benefits people like us as much. I mean, that's just my opinion.
But see, we didn't worry. It wasn't a concern when Obama won, because he won decisively. He won so nobody could argue about it. And when with Bush, it was an argument. With Hillary, like if Hillary had won the states that had a lot of electoral votes, it wouldn't have been a problem. You know, then she would have won. I mean, of course, it still would have been a problem.
I see how you're saying it, and I get it in both ways. That's still my reason why I think they should change it, because if there's an issue with it like that, where technically one or two, three, four states could make a swing for everything. I think it's just to me they got to change it a little bit.
But why can't we get it? I think that we should get a politician who is good enough to get those states to vote for them.
I mean, that's what everybody says.
That's not what everybody says. Everybody
no, that's what I'm saying. But there's really no good politicians. That's what I'm trying to say. The chances, to me, there's not. I mean, you ask most people aren't really too much on that politician bandwagon, too much on certain politicians, and it's just, I just don't know. I think the way you're saying, and I get it, and people potentially want to vote for what works for them.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna put it like this, and I'll just outright say it. If it's a state that's majority a certain way,
yeah,
of course 9 times out of 10 they're gonna go vote for that politician. And some people vote for that politician just because, okay, he's a Republican, so I'm just gonna vote for him. I don't care what he does, he's a Republican, I'm gonna vote for him. He's a liberal, I'm gonna vote for him. So
that's also why
situation like that.
But well, what Abrams did, it's not even just getting the leader. If the fucking again, I mean, I talk about this book a lot, The End of White Politics by Zerlina Maxwell, and she's broken down the numbers to show that if you register enough people to vote, you will have the numbers. The problem is one of the reasons the system is unfair, it works unfairly, is because not enough people vote. So their interests are not represented. I mean, the people that, a lot of people that are in economic distress, disadvantaged, and all of that don't vote. So if you get better candidates and if you get people to register to vote, I mean, like if you look at those big, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, if you were able to get in there and register everybody to vote, they could swing Democrat. They'd have the numbers to swing Democrat.
That's one of my problems with it. Like, okay, like California has a lot of people in California. I hate to say it, it's a big state. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And technically, I think we should be able, and I feel we should be able to get more electoral votes because we have more people. And to me, I get it. I know you always say, well, they're trying to make it even, this, like that, but it's technically really not even when there's more people in this one state.
I'm not saying they're trying to make it even. That's not what I say. Damn, have you not been listening to me? I'm saying,
yeah, it's kind of like you're saying, like, well, they're trying to make it fair. That's what you kind of said. To me, that's kind of,
no, they're trying to make it decisive.
But how decisive is that if there's more people in one state? If I have like 5 or 6 more people in this state, and just because you have a small state, I mean, I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying?
No, okay. Here's the example I always give. It's like, okay, say you live on a block and I live in a house by myself and other houses have more people. If I call the fire department, they still have to, if there's like a natural disaster, if I call the fire department, they still need to come to my house, even though I'm just one person. I have the same right to get somebody to come to my house as a house with 5 people in it. Right. That is the principle of it.
And I get that, but it's still technically the fairness of it. It's still, I get your point. You still got the right to have a fire department come to you, but in a voting type sense, when we're voting for presidents, technically what we're doing is the other 4 people. What about the other 4 people that live in? They can say they all individually have a right to be said.
Well, if it was just the majority vote, the candidates would spend all of their time in California and in states with big politicians. They would never go to states with small populations. So that is that is where I'll talk about fairness. That means, and especially if you look at states, that's especially like if like states that are rural, where there's just, or states like, say, if you have states where a lot of people have ranches, there's just going to be a smaller population. There just is. And so, like, if they, not only would they only go to certain states, they would only go to certain cities. They would only go to cities, pretty much, because cities have more dense populations, so they'd be able to connect with more people.
So technically what I'm saying is like this. So what should happen to the ones, so like we were just saying, what happened to these extra 5 million people that vote technically didn't count? What are we supposed to do with that?
They count.
How? If there's only a certain amount of electorals?
Well, they still count. Okay. It's kind of, okay. If it's sort of like, there could be, it's like it's the same pie, but some people get bigger slices than others.
So see, you see what I'm saying? So you're technically,
I see what you're saying.
It's not fair to some people, and see, that's my point on it.
But I don't think it's fair. I don't think it, but if you just but I don't think it's fair for some people not, if there weren't the Electoral College, nobody would pay any attention to people in rural areas. They would only go to cities.
We'll have to admit this is a conundrum that they have to has to be figured out, because either way you look at it, if we're going to do it that way, as of right now, the people in the smaller states are winning the situation. Because like I said, if you're moving down here,
because we have shitty candidates.
Yeah, we know, but I'm just saying, like, California may have, like, let's just say, like I keep saying, like 6 more million people than, probably even more than that, but I'm just giving an example. I don't know how many they have. 6 more million people than Utah or something like that. I mean, those 6 extra million people, it's like their vote technically wouldn't count.
It does count. It's just, I mean, it counts. It's just, if you, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's kind of my.
And I get your point. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand what you're saying. The small, it kind of messes up the small states. But I'm trying to figure out from both ends, because to me, even though I see what you're saying, but technically it's right now it's favoring the small states, not the big ones.
I don't think it's favoring,
in my opinion.
I think it is making things more. I mean, I think it does, see, that is where I talk about fairness. It's like, okay, if you take the same amount of food to a party with a lot of people and a party with not as many people, some people will have smaller slices, but they still get something. And yeah, they may not think that's fair, but I mean, be like fucking Clinton and win a lot of, be like Obama and win decisively. A candidate should be able to appeal to people in rural areas. They should be able, I mean, that's kind of that's why we, California's districts were just redrawn. And so now we have a different congressperson than we did before. And I'm bummed about that, because this congressperson, staff person, actually helped me with something. So that's why, people feel that way about the House of Representatives, because your representative is accounted for by population. So, but you're like every state gets 2 senators, no matter their size, but everybody, your number of members of Congress have to do with your population. So in that sense, so, you know, a rural state does have fewer members of Congress. You know, the idea is the idea is if you get, you know, sad, and, you know, I mean, Obama was able to bridge gaps, but I mean, he won by a smaller percentage for his second term than he did for his first term. But, you know, I mean, people get pissed, you know, I mean, it's like, regardless, people like to blame whomever's in charge for anything. But
yeah, damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Eventually,
well, yeah.
Someone's gonna hate something, someone's gonna like something. It's always gonna be like that.
Yeah, and okay, prisoners are included in census. So if like an area, I learned this, quiet. Oh my God. Can you hear the cats? I learned that something or other I was watching. So an area will be allocated more money for schools because of the number of people, even though a lot of them, you know, your numbers of people of prison will bring up the money that you get for your area, even though the prisoners aren't like sending their kid, you know, I mean, they don't have any connection to the area necessarily. So, I mean, that's where the numbers can mess things up. I mean, that's a big problem with the school districts, where schools that's a reason, besides property taxes. I mean, that's why, I mean, schools in wealthy areas have more resources because schools are funded by property taxes. That's not fair. That is really not fair. They should all get the same. So, okay, so that's what's going on in politics. Okay, so rest in peace, Magawa, our friend Magawa, the landmine rat, who won a medal for his bravery in finding landmines. See, one of the things they said, that one of the reasons rats were so good at checking for landmines is they're so fast. Like a rat could like make a circle of a big area and like could cover a whole area in like 20 minutes or something. But yes, he retired, and I guess he enjoyed his retirement, and then he died. So, okay, COVID protests, another thing we were talking about. There's been protests there's been marches with thousands of people in France, Belgium, Holland, Austria, Croatia, and Italy. So there's pissed off people everywhere, kind of safe to guarantee. And then there's a big scandal happening right now in Great Britain, in England, because the prime minister, like at the height of the lockdown last year, when, I mean, people weren't allowed to visit their dying relatives and all of that, they threw a party at Downing Street. They threw a party at the prime minister's residence where people were just drinking wine and chilling. And that's just so fucked up. I mean, Gavin Newsom got in trouble for going to a fancy dinner. And I mean, you know, that wasn't a good look, but I mean, a dinner with a lot of people there. That wasn't a good look, but it was on his own time. This was a fucking party with lots of people at the prime minister's residence during a lockdown. So that's just horrible. I mean, he's a prick anyway, he should step down. But so people were posting photos of like, look, you'd have a funeral where like only the immediate family, only like 5 people were allowed to go. And so that's just, I mean, funerals are just so important culturally. And so if it's only the immediate family, then I mean, friends and cousins and uncles and aunts and all of that. I mean, it's just people were prevented from coming together and mourning, meanwhile, all these officials just were like, fuck that, and threw a party. So yeah, that's really fucked up. Okay, so this was kind of sad and interesting. The 300 people were disenrolled from the Nooksack nations. The Nooksack are a Native American nation from the Northwest. That's why I noticed that. And
they were what?
Okay, they were disenrolled from the tribe.
What does that mean exactly?
That means in order to get the benefits of being a Native American, you need to be enrolled in the tribe. In order to get money from casinos, in order to be housed at the reservation, in order to be seen by Indian Health Services, you need to be enrolled in the tribe. So gotcha. That's one of the reasons why all this DNA bullshit comes up, because people will say like, well, I'm not enrolled, but I have like this many drops of Native American or whatever. And, so that's when you turn into this like Elizabeth Warren type bullshit. There are also people that are Native American, it's more that are Native American culturally. Their families are Native American. They were raised Native American, but they're not enrolled in the tribe. That means like they can't get student loans. That's a big thing, because casinos are supposed to be, the money is supposed to go to student loan, help kids go to college and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of young people that can't do that because that can't access those funds because they're not enrolled. And they could be like living they can be living with extended family or who knows. But it also, so 300 people were disenrolled from the Nooksack land, and so that means they're being evicted from houses where they were living on the reservation. It was evictions targeted 21 homes that housed 63 people, and some of them are like 80 and older. I'm like,
so how are they able to evict them from that land? How can they just do that?
If they're disenrolled because it's the reservation, they can say, the tribal authorities can say who's allowed to live there.
But how can they just, man, that's crazy. So out of nowhere, they could just say, you know what, Anna, we don't want you here no more, bye.
And that's what the evicted people are saying. And where this comes from, in 2000, and because people are saying like, yeah, like tribal law is its own field, basically. So there's laws that just apply to Native Americans that are there's different decisions that are being made in Native American courts. We actually talked about that on the show before with Native American legal cases. Okay, this was where having to do, because when you start talking about murders and stuff like that, that's real tricky, where somebody was retried. I can't even remember, they had to be retried in a Native American court, even though they'd been convicted in a non-Native American court. I mean, for something really violent. And so the victims needed to retestify. What is being claimed is that it comes down to personalities. The tribal members that are, that the tribal authorities were having issues with some of these people, and so were able to do this, strip their citizenship because of personal issues, and that's what the people being evicted are saying. And you know, they want to move, they want their own relatives to get cheap homes. In 2007, the Cherokee Nation voted to strip tribal citizenship rights from the descendants of Black people who had been enslaved by the tribes because they did not meet blood requirements established under the tribe.
Wow. How are they going to do that?
They did it. This was in 2007. Yeah. So that is, I mean, that is about, yeah. Seriously fucked up.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. And like, fuck. And then those people are probably, you know, then other organizations would say the same excuse for them, for example, not to receive reparations. They're like, okay, oh, well, you were with the Native Americans, that's you know, that's on them. And then so yeah, it's real fucked up. And the problem, I mean, it's one of the reasons why, I mean, when it comes down to DNA, to me, that's just fucked. It gets, you know, your blood. I mean, that's not who you are. I mean, that's not your family. So yeah, that's why I think that's real fucked up. I mean,
that's really messed up.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's in the courts right now for the Nooksack people, because like, I mean, where the fuck are these old people gonna go? It's so yeah, really sad. Okay, so Canada has pledged $31 billion to settle fights over Indigenous child welfare system. It's half to compensate families and half to repair the system. And they need to come up with fucking reasons for that, because that's one of the things that's real popular is there's just a lot of Scott has a comment about this. Scott, that deals with the federal it looks like Scott has some experience with the Federal Tribal Council. And because it's not enough to just give people more money if they need to make the system work better. 8% Indigenous children are 8% of the population of Canada, and they make up half the number in foster care. So if they're talking about giving more money to try and fix this system, it would have to be why and how, and then just like it would be a big thing to improve conditions for families and offer families more support so that children don't have homes, to keep children in their homes in the first place. And failing that, supporting relatives in taking the kids, because there's legal cases where relatives are trying to take care of the kids and they're not allowed to. And this is different in different states, but some states, do have programs to assist grandparents and aunts and uncles that are taking care of children, because a lot of the time people want to be able to keep their relatives' children, but they feel if they become officially, if they join the foster system, then they could be taken away from those relatives too. So a lot of times the relatives don't want to do that. So that means the children are not eligible. That means they're not eligible for financial assistance or, case management and stuff like that. So, that's a big thing. And, there is, it's very much statewide, because there are foster care systems where they do work hard to keep children with their families. And there's a lot of different opinions about money in those circumstances. I know more about the US system, but so hopefully again, that it's also the problem, people, yes, of course people should get financial compensation, but money doesn't make up for abuse. And so it needs to be their free choice what to do with the money. But I just always hope that people do have support in that, and support to and help to look at therapy and to fucking invest and how to manage money. It's like, a lot of the time something can look like a lot of money, but if you're young, money's very easy to spend. You'll have relatives showing up asking you for money. So yeah, you just really hope that people are supported in the money being able to actually benefit them. Okay, another case that we followed is Hoda Mutana, and she's a woman from Alabama. She was born in US, but her father was a Yemeni diplomat. So she ran off to join ISIS when she was 16 or something, and now wants to come back, and they're saying she's not a citizen and she can't come back. So yeah, and that's just, I just feel that that young people that ran off to join ISIS should have a chance for a new life. I feel that if you don't let them, you're saying ISIS wins if you don't let these young people come back and try and rebuild their lives. You're saying that the ISIS ideology is so strong that they can't get out of it. And like with women, you're basically, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't let those women back in, you're saying that they are what ISIS says they are. You're saying that they're not people. That's what ISIS believes, and that you're saying they belong to ISIS, and they're fucking bad. They're using her tweets extolling ISIS. So there you go. You know, I mean, it's the same as like, no, I mean, this is like no, young people saying dumb shit on Twitter, that shouldn't be held against them. They would have been compelled to do that. And so right now it's unknown where she is, but you're not supposed to be able to make somebody stateless. I mean, you know, she was born and raised in the United States, and that's just a weird thing, because then one of the things, the racist arguments that's used against immigrants, oh, there you, Scott, man, you got to come on and talk about. Scott knows all about this. You should come on and talk to us. Yeah, you come on the show. A lot of the funds are not of government red tape on land and the grant. P.S. Yes, you got to have a controlled number. And yes, I'm a half-breed. That's Scott saying that, audience. That's not me.
Yes, Scott is mixed. He's part Indian.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I know
you would
Scott
know
personally, also.
Yeah. Yeah. Send him a link.
Ask him, says, if we send him a link, will he come on?
Scott, if you come on the show, if we send you a link, will you come on the show? Yeah, we really, I mean, especially, you know, I mean, I've been talking about this for 20 minutes. Let's have somebody come on that like really has the personal experience, because that's just nothing can replace that. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are, that you can, there's always something. I mean, people that live in experience, just they can bring something that I can't. So okay. So
hey, Scott, I sent the link to your messenger.
Oh, okay, good. And okay, this is okay. I knew we were going to get to something about fucking Georgia. The Supreme Court will decide whether to hear a challenge to the law, which requires that defendants in capital cases who are intellectually disabled prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So, okay, that's kind of beyond a reasonable doubt. That's kind of the magic phrase. That's what got OJ off. He's one of the best in a capital case. You need to make your case to execute somebody. You need to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury is supposed to be sure and positive that this is the case. However, you know, you're not supposed to be able to put somebody to execute somebody for who's intellectually disabled. Other states just require evidence, and that's going to be medical evidence. I mean, that's not easy to do. That's going to require psychological and medical evaluations. So that should be good enough. And so if you are trying to like, okay, to me, it's you know, if your medical evidence, psychological evidence, that should be the standard. Like it's the standard for other things. Like if you're going to be disabled or get your funding. I mean, well, in a legal case, like in a civil case or whatever, you could have that evidence of intellectual disability, but there can also be other, this could go on forever. There can be other factors brought in, but in a death penalty, I mean, all they're doing in the death penalty case is deciding, like, is this person intellectually disabled, in which case it is unconstitutional for them to be executed. And you're supposed to be able to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So how the fuck can you do that if you, other than having medical and psychological documentation? How can you do that? Maybe you have somebody on the jury that like doesn't believe in doctors or something like that. And all you need is just, you know, one person that's like, oh, maybe they're not. I mean, because I suppose if you can, yeah, well, you'd have to pick your jury. So anyway, that's stuff like that's just really interesting to me.
So Scott just got back to me.
Uh-huh.
And he said maybe next time, I guess this is the anniversary of the passing of his mom.
Oh, Scott, I'm so sorry. Okay, my condolences.
So we'll set up a day when we want to talk about the Indians and bring it back.
Yes.
And we'll have him on the show.
Absolutely.
Right on, Scott. And you know what I'm saying? Condolences out to your people, man.
Yes.
But you know, I'm gonna catch up with you.
Yes. Yeah, we appreciate you listening and giving your input, Scott. Okay, so back to the okay. See, we haven't had a show in a couple weeks. I don't see Trika on YouTube because
Trika's supposed to be on in a minute.
She is. I don't see her on YouTube. Can you send her a link?
She already has the link.
Oh, she does? She might not be home or something, because she's usually, you know, when she's coming on the show in the second hour, she's usually on the YouTube before. So, okay, well.
I think she'll make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's fine, because there's a lot to talk about that. So
Scott wanted me to say his mom was full-blooded Cherokee.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, wow. Well, we really look forward to having you come on, and, you know, blessings to your mom. Okay, so the Supreme Court is, the Supreme Court is going to decide whether to hear a challenge to the law, and that's about the capital case. But when it comes back to our friend Hoda Mutana, the Supreme Court isn't going to hear her case about the citizenship. See, in a way, I don't even see why something like that should. I'm surprised that it doesn't really make sense to me that the Supreme Court is even hearing something like that. That should be, I mean, I think that is something that should be settled in civil court or something like that, when you're talking about citizenship and all of that, and because it's specific to that person. Because I mean, the point of the Supreme Court, the point of this issue about developmentally disabled people being executed is whether it applies. That's a standard. But this case is about just this one person. Like, because I mean, I suppose there's situations where, you know, I mean, if she had like gone and like killed a bunch of people, then like, yeah, maybe she shouldn't be let back in. It has, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I don't know, like the Supreme Court cases on citizenship. I mean, that's about policy. It just, so anyway, it's bullshit. Let her back into her family. It's horrible. Okay. authorities in Bangladesh have, this always fucking happens, have reversed their decision to open a women-only beach after facing accusations they were pandering to hardline Islamists. Okay, people let the hardliners in this situation. It was women that asked for a women-only beach because they don't feel comfortable going to a mixed beach. So it wasn't a situation of men saying we don't want to allow women on the beach. It was women saying we want our own space on the beach because according to our culture, so that we can enjoy the beach and remain that's their culture. And there was something like that in Seattle where there was like a group of Muslim women that had their own time in the public pools. And with the public pools, it's like they're split up, there's all sorts of different programs, there'll be 2 hours for something and an hour for something. They had a slot like once or twice a month that was just for them so they could swim. And so I think if it is a group making, then you get back to the majority. If the people in power are saying we want to keep people out, that's one thing. If you have a group that has less power, because it's not for me to say, I'm not going to talk about from the outside. I don't want to talk about people not having power because they do have power. But if they want some time in the beach, they should fucking have it. It's the same logic as at universities, when like white people start complaining that they're being discriminated against because they're not allowed into Black only groups. It's just that's not how it works. So, what the sort of issues that need to be looked at with gender and the hard line, I'm sure they're like, if they're pandering to hardline Islamists, if they don't try and keep women from being abused and having lives, if these women have the agency to ask for their own place to swim, they should have it. So yeah, people are always real selective about that. So, okay, do you want to take a break? A little music?
Sure can, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be right back, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Cognac, J.A. Young Well, Skins, Ron Drell, go up. Keep it on the quiet, keep it on the DL. Gotta keep it private, not the type to kiss and tell. Learn early, keep a muzzle to not end up in a cell. But just know I see a jail file, I speak on my personnel. All of them, they be newsy, concerned about what I'm doing. They see I be in the kitchen and wonder what I've been stewing. I give you my secrets, the way I'm viewing. Now we colluding, so keep it with me and you, and we'll make sure that no confusion, up is the way we go. Problems, you don't want those. I'm moving in silence as if I'm walking on 50 toes. So keep it on the low, cause nobody needs to know. Just keep it on the hush. You ain't gotta say nothing. Keep it on the hush. You ain't gotta tell them. You don't want a problem. The money won't solve it. Keep it on the hush. You don't wanna make a fuss. So just keep it to yourself and don't tell nobody else. No nothing to discuss. So just keep it between us. Keep it on the hush.
I call her Victoria,
swear she can keep a secret. She try on lingerie, I can't wait to peep it. Lights, camera, action, quiet on the set. She play a leading role, clapboard vet. Mom be the word to the alphabets. If you want it, gotta give it, talking about respect. Do my biz in the background, close curtains. First race at the fairgrounds, how I'm skirting. And I ain't got time to be falling off. Keep it in the fan, we can all ball. Hush the priority, we splitting the majority. Yellow tape, she was talking to authority. Keep it on the hush, you ain't gotta say nothing. Keep it on the hush, you ain't gotta tell them. You don't want a problem, the money won't solve it. Keep it on the hush, you don't wanna make a fuss. So just keep it to yourself and don't tell nobody else. No one else needs to discuss, so just keep it to yourself. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. Nothing in my way, headed to the door. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. Nothing in my way, heading to the door. When they say no, I go. When they say no, I go. When they say no, I go. Nothing in my way, heading to the door. Looking like the life of the party. I got what you need to get you started. Play the backfield, now I'm coming up. You have first place, now you runner-up. All black, tell it like a mobster. Rockin' red bottom, wish it whipping pasta. Weatherman forecast, he drippin'. And we only conversate about the winning. Top floor, yeah, you know we going up. Middle finger in the air, we don't give a fuck. Popping champagne like we just won a ship. Always calculated, never shooting from the hip. Tell me when to go, I show them that I make it go. I got crazy girls around me going up and down the pole. Make it rain on them big bread, get it from my mama. Count it up, blue strips, don't forget the commas, I go. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. Nothing in my way, headed to the door. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. When they say no, I go. I go. Nothing in my way, heading to the door. You think I ain't moving? I'm getting cheddar while the shirts flock together. Think they good? Well, I'm better. Move the lane and I pull up for that jumper. Real bosses around when they pull up on that bumper. I'm getting cheddar while the birds flock together. Think they good? Well, I'm better. Move the lane and I pull up for that jumper. Real bosses around when they pull up on that bumper. Cheating off stocks, I ain't spend no checks. Vegas hit the crap game and I ain't lost yet. Niggas broke, trying to show out. Mad cause they got no clout. Talking on the name only make me bigger. Ain't got a fake new, I'm that nigga that always had funds, hoes, and fire blood. Roll with them hitters, gangsta thug. Can't say enough, you really went left. Mad cause the bitch didn't want you played it for the stretch. Bro, I salute you for getting dope. Get church and shoot a video at our studio. Damn funny. Did you pay for your time? That shit's funny. A waste of my time. Clown, but I'ma roast you, bitch. Call itself an ape, more like a chimpanzee. Fetty motherfuckers, what I does. I'm an urban legend, nigga. Fuck the buzz. In a line, they come pop up. Me on one, it's nothing to do to stop us. Eat good without a handout. Boy, get off the nuts on that fair route. Shout out, kicks amazing. On the help shelf, if I'm blazing, break a beat down. That's the sad track. Price going up, he gon' need a couple stacks. I'm the Mac with the cheese and the ronies. Keep that thing tucked, I'll be all on my lonely. All my cronies, 5150. You know where I'm at if you got up on a pick with me. Hit Swifty on my Rick and Morty. Put me on stage, bet the crowd don't ignore it. Rap orgy, the guy get it done. Spin dope, get dope just to have fun. I'm a hustler, I'm known for that. You known to run your mouth? Him cap, real rap. You don't want the smoke, but if we go there, it won't be a joke. EPA, back on Illy. Got a bunch of real ones that gon' roll with me. Forgive me if I go in. Lyrical beast and ain't no win. Reppin' the town everywhere I go. Keep my name out your mouth like a motherfucking hoe. Yeah.
Shine so bright, California sunshine, that California sunshine. California sun shining in the winter. You either eat a steak or wonder what's for dinner. Well, they said everyone a winner. They go rush, but you really chasing glitter. The high gone, but you chase it with the liquor. You jog in place, hoping to get dinner. The tech rush, if you ain't techie, then you glitter. Gentrified your ass right out of your rental. I'll move to Antioch, start to Sacramento. They coming for you next, smile if you get dental. Don't be surprised that these niggas not that simple. Pretty niggas, popping niggas like a pimple. Bodies laid out, bunch of fallen temples. Who built Wall Street? Never mind your mental. Push the black Wall Street, push the black market. Close to the edge and you pushed it like a racket. Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California cold, Northern California cold. Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California cold, Northern California cold. Man provide for his children. Man got no job, but somehow man got done. Man don't get far if man always gonna run. Fight or flight, boy, tell me where you run from. Running to the strip club, running from his children, running from the cop car, running from his bed mom, running to the streets. If you try to escape that, then you label him a thief. How the saying go, baby, freedom ain't free. Texas to your message, cause the IRS a ting. Cooked up by the West Wing. Who built the White House? Never mind, just sing. Just dribble, stand up and salute for the team. Kaepernick is oddly forgot your history. J. Edgar Hoover say shoot down every king. I don't give a damn who the Black Panthers killed. Trayvon Timmy is treated like Emmett Till. Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California cold, Northern California cold. Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California goes, Northern California cold, Northern California cold.
What's up, Anna?
What's up, Roselle? Hey, our guest is here. She made it.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Trika. Happy New Year.
How do you do today?
Awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Thank you. 1 second. I'm going to turn this light off. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, everybody's show has been off for a couple weeks, so been having a good time catching up.
Yeah, pretty much the wrap up.
It is, yeah. So, man, a lot of I have a lot of, we were talking about, so, okay. Audience, anybody that's listening, we are mourning the end of Insecure, the fabulous show created by Issa Rae. And I just started watching it about a year ago because my pastor mentioned it. See, this is so actually when pastors mention something in popular culture, I usually go pick it up, look it up, because I feel like that's giving me a little bit of extra Bible knowledge without needing to go deep into the book, it's kind of, I don't know.
It's like, let me go check it out. Why are you guys?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then I just felt that, we talked about this before. I want to know what everybody in the culture is looking at. And so I was like, cool, this is like something that's having a big effect. And I just fucking loved the show. And just, it's beautiful the way it was filmed. I love the characters, the writing, and Issa reminded me a lot of myself when I was her age. And so why don't you take it away? How have you been watching it from the beginning?
I'm actually one of those people who started watching it in the beginning, jumping on the train, and then I kind of fell off after the second season. So I hadn't watched anything from since the second season till the finale, which just ended recently, up until probably the past week.
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
It was hard to avoid, people ruining the show for me because everybody's already watched all know, the episodes up to quarantine, and they're just like, okay, when is the season? I hopped on not even knowing that the 5th season was the last season. So I fucking strung that shit along like a crackhead. Like, I'm only doing one rock today. I can't do it all today. But just like you said, the writing, and you could feel the progression. I felt like they did a tremendously good job with developing the characters and their growth along the show. And I kind of felt like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not ashamed to say this, I cried during majority of the last season, not even knowing it was the last season, but I still was like, wow, just the growth that all of them made, and all of it reminded me of hearing, you know, just because everything didn't work out the way you thought it should work out, does that mean it didn't work out the right way?
Yeah.
And even though a majority of the scenarios didn't work out the way that we would as the audience was like, okay, well, that's going to happen. She's obviously going to end up. Issa Rae is me 80%. I'm 20. And then I'm Kelly jumps in and out of my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, the crazy shit that she says, although it's crazy, it is what a lot of us think.
Yeah.
But she just speaks what she thinks, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, Issa Rae reminded me so much of myself around that age, because it was like the age of exploration. Like, who the fuck am I? Like, I will try all these things. I know everything that I do always comes back to the same thing. So she always knew what her passion was. She just didn't know how to go about entwining that in her regular ass life, where she's balancing life, you know, breaking up with the guy that she's been with for a long time, who she was there for when he was the most depressed. And this is the part that kills me about the show, is I feel like what she said in the last season is like, I did all this work so somebody else could reap the reward.
I've fucking been there. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there so many times. Like, I've groomed this perfect ass specimen, and you're not even right for me.
Yeah.
But I can see you being great for your next girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was something that I was so like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was telling Roselle earlier, especially, you know, I had like shitty ass jobs in nonprofits with people, you know, and I'm awkward. I don't know. It doesn't always come across that I am. So I really, you know, I had like fucking kids ganging up on me and nobody offering me support. Because at places like that, I mean, you know, they're happy to have one person get all the shit. And then the fact that she did wind up doing cultural events, which I do know, but most of all, I mean, she was so impulsive, and I struggle with that. You know, when I was like, yeah, there she goes, man. There's Issa like hopping into something with someone, and impulsive and selfish.
Right. And I think that was the biggest thing that one of the biggest things that I took from the show too, is like, sometimes we don't really see it as being so needy or clingy or you know, always in need of assistance from our friends, because you just assume they're always going to be there because that's the role they have, that's what they do. But you don't think about it from the other side. And when Issa and Molly had that fucking fight at the block party, I kind of was like, well, number one, this is just something that was been boiling over. And it was going to happen. I hated it happened there. But it was bound to happen. And at first I was mad at Molly, because I was like, how dare you ruin her day? You know, she's been stressed out about this. But then I had to hear what Molly was saying. And Molly was like, you know, I've always had your back. Like, I've always been that person. When you didn't have money coming in, we would go out to eat and you would say, oh yeah, it's on you. because you know I had your back, but people take for granted friendship.
I mean, Issa, like, you know, she said, I don't want you to do this. And Issa did it and went behind her back. She didn't even have the guts to be like, well, I'm going to do it. And, you know, so my God, somebody that was your friend being untruthful with you. I mean, oh, yeah.
And I don't know how I felt about Molly not reaching out, because I understood, you know, she didn't want to entangle anything extra into the relationship that she was already in.
Yeah.
But like Issa told her, if shit don't work out with you and Andrew, that has nothing to do with me. That has absolutely everything to do with you.
God,
and
Andrew was a fucking prick.
If something was going to bother your relationship, then Andrew would have never helped her in the first place. Because I think Andrew understood the importance that friendships meant to Molly. Which
well, I think he knew it would stir shit up. I think he knew it would stir shit up. He was a prick.
Yeah. But and then that whole scene with his brother and
oh God,
that fucking towel lady, and I was like, obviously, you know, it could have been an overreaction, but I noticed that she didn't ask the couple before her for their keys either. And I was like, well, I've been there before. And that's like, a lot of that show hits a lot of people so deep because I've been there before. Like, I've been that person. And then it makes you like really think like, oh, did I handle it the right way? Or did I want to be right?
Yeah. And you know, but if people just if they had like had the fucking respect, it's sort of, you know, it's sort of like, okay, a Black woman is telling you that she's being discriminated against. Shut up. You don't have the right to be like, you know, so yeah. There was stuff like that where you knew that it had happened to the writers.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because I mean, like I said, I started watching, you know, the show a little bit later than a lot of people, but it was kind of crazy how that aligned with today, or, you know, about this time last year when everybody was talking about Asian hate and all that.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that it sparked for me is when she said, well, you guys don't claim racism until, and I was like, whoa, don't say that out loud, Molly. But inside of me, I agreed with her.
Yeah.
And that was something that was provoking for me. And I was like, okay, this is a good show because it's making me even question my everyday way of thinking, my everyday thought process, because of course they go through discrimination too, but it was his lack of compassion that her struggle was different than his, even as a man.
Yeah.
Because you are a man who is higher ups in their business as well, you still wouldn't understand the discrimination that she, as a Black woman who is clearly making less money than her counterparts who do less work than she does. So I think if he just caught the wrath, he wasn't an innocent bystander, but he was a bystander.
And you know, because and it's the whole, well, we get like, no, you do. It is not the same. It's not. And so, you know, and Yvonne Orji did she's a great actress, because I think when she was, you know, you could see she was on vacation, she was having a good time, and you could just see how that hit her physically. It was like, it was like she'd been punched.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that had a lot to do with why her and Andrew didn't last, because although he had an open mind to hear both sides of that story, I think he still felt attacked in a way too, because she kind of grouped him and his brother into a category.
Yeah.
It happens to Black people all the time. And it's funny because it's the marginalization happening to him that kind of provoked that whole they're split up or whatever. But I'm not completely satisfied with the last season. I feel like they had to rush and put a whole bunch of stuff in there. Just to close it out for us, because it could have easily went another 3 seasons. So HBO, if you're watching, you're an idiot. But I kind of was Team Lawrence. Who were you? Because I was team.
I could not stand him. He was a fucking prick.
Who? Lawrence or
Lawrence?
Nathan?
Yeah.
You know what? And it took me having to rewatch the whole season over again. Yes, I did. But it was like, okay, in the beginning, Lawrence, you weren't doing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm in that position too, where I'm the only one in the household working and paying the bills, and you're trying to get your shit together. But he just kept fucking up, like little by, and I'm not saying Issa was completely innocent in this, no. I think, and this is not to give any kind of, point stuff for Issa or not, but I kind of felt like she went to fuck with people that from her past, like, which is something that a lot of us do in our 20s.
Yeah.
Because like, oh shit, this is my high school crush. I could have fucked you. I wanted to fuck you 5 years ago, but now I can do it now. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like she just went out and just met random guys, whereas he, the first girl he decided to go that way with was the bank teller and it was just somebody who showed him attention that he thought he wasn't getting at home, but he wasn't giving the same attention as well. So
they weren't, we saw them when we never saw them when things were bad, and then basically it was off and on. I just thought he was terrible. I thought he was terrible to Condola. I mean, just everything he did was so fucked up.
I think him finding out that Condola and Issa knew each other, that's they're both. And instead of him just being able to just be open, authentic, and honest about his relationship with Issa and how he knows everybody and all this stuff, actually, I think where he fucked up is, well, how can you meet a girl at the baby shower of your ex-girlfriend's best friend?
Yeah.
And not do some kind of research or what? I mean, it's just awkward regardless. Even if they didn't know each other, it's still kind of like in that lane of, okay, this is going to be a little sticky situation.
And it happens. I mean, to me, I can't even, that sort of you meet people at social events where people know each other, and like, say if you are, if you have similar interests. So I just think he was just real immature about it. And I like the TSA guy. He was awesome. I liked him, and I liked Daniel. He was this brief little fling she was having. I liked him.
He had no shame in his game. He's like,
exactly.
And I was like,
exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Don't put our business in the streets.
Yeah.
I like Daniel too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people give Daniel a bad rap, but if you go back and watch from the moment that Daniel entered back into her life to the point where they were living together, he was fucking other bitches in the next room, which is awkward as hell.
Well, they weren't dating.
And that's the truth of the matter. Is we're not together, we're not a couple, but
his place. He tried, stay for free.
He tried to be serious with her, and she kept blowing him off and playing him to the side, because in the back of her mind, she always knew she still wants to be with Lawrence, but she never admitted that. And that kind of pissed me off about Issa after rewatching. I'm like, you know what? Daniel tried multiple times. Like,
he was cool.
Daniel
was cool. He had his thing going on, he was respectful, and he was cool. I liked him a lot better than Lawrence.
And I only think that he was doing all the extra stuff when she moved in out of pain, out of anger. Like, I'm gonna pay you back for breaking my heart.
Yeah.
For a man that you're not even with anymore, and now you need me to help you get through this. So I'm gonna break your heart. And
that was selfish, that was, but that was me, man. I was fucking selfish. I was like me.
The balls of this man, like,
balls.
Yeah, okay, well, I get it.
Yeah, Elvis was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll totally impulsive and stuff. Yeah, and it's just filmed so beautifully. I mean,
photography is really good. Like it has the kind of like Spike Lee joints type of feel visually.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gave me like what was the movie when they say that the music the song is Fight the Power? What's Brooke? It has to some
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing. There you go. Thank you, Roselle. It reminded me of the cinematography on that movie. Like there were some parts where you could just look at not just the character, but the background of the scenery, and it kind of gave you a feel of the mood that person was in. And I thought that was pretty dope too.
So how do you think Insecure played out in the culture? I mean, do you think, I feel like for so many people just seeing like, that's me and stuff, and I felt, because I look at life this way now, like, I wouldn't want a young kid watching it, but I mean, if I had a daughter, I'd be real pleased to have them like, I mean, they were just fully rounded characters. I mean, they were concerned about their careers, their friend, it wasn't all about the guys. It was like they were into guys, but they were into their friendships and career and family. And yeah, I mean, I'd be real happy to have a kid of mine watching it once they were, not little.
Right. Once they're able to comprehend like the storyline.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like watching Insecure kind of taught me lessons that my mom probably should have taught me, but it's something that I either learned by myself or from a friend or from, watching a show like Insecure. It had a lot of the taboo conversation that happens within Black communities. And like, even when it came down to not only just Molly working for a predominantly white firm and having to deal with that type of it, but back to Issa working at the nonprofit and them giving so much credit to the white girl when things went good, but when things got fucked up, it was Issa, we don't need you on the streets no more. Whereas sometimes the things that were going great weren't the white girl's idea, and some of the things, it was just, it's so nitpicky, but it reminded me of life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just, I mean, I worked it was just completely ignorant and short-sighted. I mean, because like I worked with youth a lot, and you just, I mean, the staff that were people of color could offer them things and could relate to them in ways that I couldn't. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't realize, you need to think about the people you are attempting to serve, and that, yeah, I can, like, what, you're going to take the one Black person out? I mean, the one person that like the kids are going to be looking at and being like, yeah. So,
and I think you made that very clear too when Issa was calling around to the schools and asking, oh, why don't you partner up with us anymore?
Yeah.
And they even said, our school, it was the reverse. Our school isn't predominantly Black, but on your flyer, you don't have any white kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like,
yeah,
she ran into so many challenges, but those challenges were small in her world, but those are larger scale challenges that are happening every day to people every day.
Yeah.
And it was just funny, like, seeing how, even though, like, sometimes I forget what's the girl that she was working, what's her name on the show? I don't know.
Frida?
Yeah, Frida.
Yeah.
Frida really was trying, to understand stuff.
Yeah.
But even sometimes the things that Anissa said offended her. But it was like, if you're taking it the wrong way because you're not getting it, I'm not saying it's you. I am referring to people who look like you. And so I think that's where the conflict comes in from people that we call allies, you know, because from your perspective, you're trying to learn more about something. And from our perspective, it's like, we know this, but are you mocking us type of thing? Or are you devaluing something that we're saying to make it seem like it's not as big of a deal as it is? And like that goes back to the Molly situation. It's not up to you to determine if something offends.
Exactly.
That's me.
Yeah. One of the things I wrote, I mean, when I do get it, I'm like, it's racist if a Black person says it's racist. I mean,
we can be racist. We can have racist thinking, but we are not in a position to be an oppressor. If you understand the definition of racism, which I'm not going to go into that, this is your show. We don't have to do all that. You haven't.
We got to do it. Well, we at least need to do it at the beginning of a show.
Right. It's a deep dive, and anybody who knows definitions knows that no person of color can be a racist.
Yeah. And that it is an ongoing thing. And that's why, I mean, I don't say I'm not racist, because that's against the point. That's not the point, because racism is a system. And so long as you exist in a racist system, you need to be vigilant and you need to learn. And there isn't an end point.
There's no measurement.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to, as human beings, period, we always try to make a logical stance about things. And most of the things that we're asking for a logical explanation for don't have logics or logistics tied behind it.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, because then here's one of the parts that I thought was great when they would be, and they did it a couple times, Issa and Molly and them, when they'd be in an event, they'd be like, why are the white people here? Like they did it a lot. Like wait, who let them? They're like, can't we have anything? And to me,
and
like,
I hear statement, Anna, that is a true statement.
I know, because I like
the last time I went somewhere that I thought was gonna be just Black people. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Who invited these white people? Like, who let the cat out the bag?
Yeah.
But it was also so funny to watch that on Insecure, because the majority of the crowd at the block party was white. It wasn't even, there weren't a lot of Black people until it got later, which goes into a whole nother stereotype. It's like Black people come out later in the evening.
Yeah, and they were saying that like at the like, oh yeah, I mean pretty much and then like at one of the things they did at the art museum, Issa's assistant, Issa and her assistant would be saying that, because I know that is how people talk, that is how people feel. I mean, because I have partially because I have like, because I'm real tight with a lot of Black people, and obviously, and like, there's people I've known for years and years that are like friends, and I go to their parties and they have friends and relatives that won't talk to me. Like, I've been around these people for years, and you can see they're like, oh fuck, she's here. And they're like, see, that's one reason I thought that it was so great that they put that in Insecure, because people are like, you're thinking like, it's the weekend. Why do I have to put up with white people?
You guys here? We're like, we're trying to get away from you. But and I think that one of the reasons they put that into the show, because the reverse happens so often.
Mm-hmm.
And people are always like, oh my God, yeah, they're racist, but we do it too. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Like, can we have something to ourselves?
Well, yeah.
But it was just funny. It was like, damn. I think I've thought that thought before when I went somewhere, like, why the fuck all these white people here?
There's people that I've like been at the same parties at for years and years that won't that they won't talk to me, they don't say hello or anything. And I'm like, that's their experience. And I was also like, hey, this is they're here to enjoy this party with their friends. I mean, they have a right to act how they want, but I'm also like, well, I mean, I was invited. These are my really good friends too. But I think
you're not there for no reason.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't be like walking in if I wasn't invited. And so, but yeah, I think you so see it. It's like, because I think some of them, especially, they're like, wait, why do I have to see white people on the weekend?
What holiday is this?
Exactly.
I think that's why I relate to Issa so much, because even though I was, raised and born in the hood and everything, like I would have been that one person that saw your one white woman self and went like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to her, Yeah. I'm gonna ask her why she's here, y'all. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like, it's a party. People can act how they, and like, to me, it's like they got damn good reason to feel that way. I mean, it's like you're looking at somebody that's been dealing with like the towel, stuff like the towel and all that. That's reality. And they show up to a party and they're like, oh fuck. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So I mean, I think it's good that. I mean, it's good to have that on TV, because if any white people that are watching Insecure, a lot of them, I mean, are like, what? People should know. And so yeah, but for me, I just recognize it because it's just something I've seen so much,
And like you said, for anyone that's in reality, it was nothing that was like, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. No, it's like, this is real life.
Yeah, man. I was like at somebody, I asked I was hanging this one guy, he hated my fucking guts. I was like, can I hit the blunt? And he's like, no, that's what white people do. So I was like, fine. So I went out to my car and I got some weed and I like gave it to my friend, was like, okay, well, here, will you roll a blunt? He's like, yeah. So he rolls it and like passes it to that guy. They still won't pass it to me. They're like, no, passing it around is a white people thing. At that point, I was like, yeah, I'm really starting to feel a little uncomfortable. But I mean, these are people, but I'm like, these are, your friends of friends.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, man. But I'm like, fuck, people should like fucking say what they want to say.
I think, I feel like a lot of people that I know like to always say, well, Black people were the most welcoming group of people. We are after you pass the final, like, so you're going to be tested. And that was a test for you, Anna. They're like, nah, that's what white people do. They want to see you freak out like Karen.
Well, it was kind of, it was a house of people I'd known for like 10 years. It was, so it was a friend of theirs. So yeah, so yeah, definitely. So this was like, it was sort of like somebody that was like, oh, fuck that. Cause he didn't think he'd see me again. But yeah.
Man, who's this white lady? Oh, she'll never be here again.
Yeah.
My butt.
Yeah. And these people, I'm really, I'm, cause then I'm like, well, who the fuck are you? I've been coming to this house once a week for 10 years, but
never seen your ass.
Yeah. But I appreciate the fact that, to me, that's reality. That is how people feel. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that I have friends that I am tight with that like do want me at their parties, that they trust me and feel comfortable with me, that I'm like, yeah, people should hear that shit,
And I will say, I'm not going to say they invite you to provoke that kind of interaction or anything like that, but they know who they've invited and they know who you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna put you in danger. Like, oh yeah, this nigga about to eat Anna up today because he hate white girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they know I can deal. Yeah, they know
that's what I was saying. Like, that's a compliment to you. They know you got your shit together and you can hold your fucking own, or else they wouldn't put you in that situation. So
yeah,
I wouldn't take it personally from them. But yeah, I definitely, and no lie, I've been that person in the past where it's like, what the fuck are you doing here, white girl? Like, ain't nobody call you over here. But it still is the programming. And I've asked someone this question before. It's like, is it racist that I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, my white homeboy over there? Because I don't often hear white people be like, oh, you know, my black homegirl, you know, the black one. Like, but for me, it's like, I feel like, I'm not saying we earn the right to call you a white boy or white girl. No, it's not the same as calling you cracker or anything like that. It's not, there's no equivalence, it's not a game.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm like, why is that okay for us and it's not okay for them to say that? Because if somebody called me that black girl, I'm like, who the fuck are you calling that black girl? I have a name and it's black as hell too. It's Trika. But, you know, it is what it is. I think that's why I appreciated Insecure so much, because Issa was a girl from LA, but she wasn't an angry black woman, which a lot of times gets portrayed for black women from LA. Like, oh, if they don't got money, they're ghetto, they got hella kids, little baby daddies, they don't do shit. Or if they have money, oh, they're bougie, they're stuck up, they want to be white. You know, it's like none of those parameters fit around any of the characters in the story. And it was, you know, set in LA. So it gave a different perspective on life for people who don't know LA.
Yeah.
It's not Hollywood.
Yeah. And then that fight that fight that Issa and Molly had, it was like the character, I mean, you know, the writers, they were brave because they could have chosen not to, it's like they knew the audience well enough or trusted the audience not to stereotype Issa and Molly with that.
Mm-hmm. Where they got into a full-on fist fight. It didn't take that.
Yeah.
It didn't take that. And I'm glad they stopped it before, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a little bit of a cliffhanger, but it still didn't play out like everybody expected it to play out. Because I was like, oh yeah, they about to fight. Damn it, Issa about to get her ass whooped. Because I'm like, Molly is gonna whoop your ass. Like, for real.
Yeah.
But it didn't even have to go that far. And I think that was another example to people, period, that things don't have to go to the furthest extreme for you to bring up a conflict and discuss it and have to face it and deal with it. Deal with it on the level before it blows up to fighting at the block party before someone gets shot. I never saw a gun or anything, so I'm still waiting for what happened. Like, where's the news report about what happened at the block party?
Yeah.
But that show, like I said, I'm still unpacking it, but it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, the clothes. I just loved it. I loved Issa's style.
Yeah. And I could so see you being in love with her wardrobe, because that's that hippie chick. I'm just out here saving the world, not trying to look all fancy. Can't move around in that stuff, but still still on point. I was like, sometimes I was like, dang, that's really cute outfit. And I like that the wardrobe kind of went along with the storyline. Like, you could see Issa's wardrobe progressing and growing as she progressed and grew. And she always had some kind of message on a black sweatshirt.
Coolest shirts. Yeah, she did.
So yeah, it was. I'm sad to see it go. Even talking about it right now, I'm getting a little emotional because I'm like, I feel like I just lost all of my best friends at one time, and they don't even know me. But
they kind of do.
Yeah, because everybody had a piece of me.
Man, imagine if Imagine if you had Issa. Issa would be. You should probably have like. Imagine Issa coming on No Better, Do Better. You'd have to get. That's Issa, you know.
Anna, you don't know. Like before I get ready to go out, like I'll be putting on my makeup and shit. And I'll be rapping in the mirror like Issa, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dog? Like I thought I was the only one that do this.
Wow.
I'm not crazy.
Wow.
But it was the shit that when her reflection started talking back to her the last season, I was like, damn. Is this what my reflection thinks? Like you come here every day and say the same shit. Get out of here. But yeah, I totally, I mean, the writing on that was so amazing. And the fact that they gave so many people opportunities to write or direct different episodes of the show.
Yeah.
It gave it so much more diversity while staying along with the storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I tell people this all the time. We can all go through the same thing, the same time. You could be sitting right next to me, but what you saw and what I saw can be completely different perspectives, and it wouldn't match up to an exact story, because you're going to see it from the perspective of someone who's lived through your life experiences, and I'm going to see it through the perspective of my experiences. So the situation may be fucked up for you to see. And I'm just like, hey, well, wasn't that fucked up? You know, he made it through this. And you know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing that we both watched. And I feel like that's how life is. Everyone's like, well, we all suffer. We all struggle. We all went through this. Yeah, but we all don't go through things the same way. So people need to have a little bit more compassion for other people. And understand that.
There's stuff, what somebody tells you is the truth. It's their truth. If you tell me you're hurt or offended, that is the truth. And so, yeah.
And a lot of people, as simple as that sounds, so many people don't want to just accept that. This is my truth. Of course, you don't know it because you're not me.
Yeah.
But people also like to backpedal and, you know, well, you know, that's just how I feel about it. Or, you know, I don't agree with that because I've never experienced that. That doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Exactly.
And just because that's not the way that you meant to say something, I'm telling you how I heard it. And I'm telling you how it made me feel. You need to accept my feelings and my perspective on that and be open that no matter what you say doesn't mean I have to agree with you. You say what you say, I say what I say. We can live like that. Life is peaceful. You don't have to agree with everything that everyone else says or thinks or feels.
Yeah. Feelings are true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, because I'm like, you know, feelings, like, of course they're fucking valid, but yeah, feelings are true. If you tell me I'm like, that's why I hate that thing. It's not like, okay, if I step on your foot, I'm going to say, excuse me. And so, you know, that's why, I didn't mean to be offensive. Like, no, because you're not a psychopath, but you were. So deal. You know.
Right. And that's it. That's the end of the discussion. Like, that's how I'm going to start explaining it from now on, Anna. Thank you so much. Because that's a short answer. Because I try to explain it to the T that I stress myself out just to try to make this person feel comfortable, which is the whole reason why we're having this conversation in the first place.
Yeah.
No. If I step on your foot, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional, but I still fucking stepped on your foot. So.
Yeah, you know, so if I offend you, I'm like genuinely sorry. And it's like, you know, yeah, like.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think a lot of people are just too afraid to admit.
Yeah.
When they don't know everything or when they're wrong or when what they believe doesn't align with someone else, they're looking for that outside instant validation for them being them. No. You need to validate yourself.
You do.
It shouldn't matter what nobody else thinks or says.
You do. You do. So when are you going to come visit?
Well, now that Omarion's out here running rapid in the streets with B2K.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah.
I actually was gonna come up. I was thinking of coming up in February. I have a friend that's supposed to get married in April, so I'm for sure be up that way in April. But who knows with how COVID is working right now? I mean, I don't know if traveling a lot is going to be an option. I don't want to get stuck somewhere. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully within the next month, though. You should come to San Diego. It's way prettier out here. No, I don't know.
We went, because we went for lunch today or breakfast. I was like, I was oh yeah, man, me and Trika, we're gonna do like a food tour or something.
Oh yeah, so we got to eat some tiramisu.
Yeah,
because Roselle doesn't know what tiramisu is.
Roselle does know what tiramisu is.
Okay, but you don't eat it because you're a weirdo.
Yeah, it tastes like coffee. Yeah, I don't eat it.
Yeah. See, he's not a foodie like us, Anna. He can't come.
Oh, that's okay. So we were having a discussion about this was funny. Did she know the thing he was telling me about a place a place in Richmond that was like selling that was like selling $50 plates of fish with like tilapia, and people were falling for it.
Oh my God. I wish I would. I can go and get a bag of tilapia from Walmart for $5 right now.
Yeah. So we were talking about like whether you whether you could really tell. Because I was like, if you're like a real foodie, I'm sure you could tell. I don't know if I could tell
from any fucking fish.
Yeah. Oh, but it was like like some fan, like my younger brother is like, oh, I can't eat farmed salmon. It has to be fresh. Yeah, it has to be wild. That was even because fresh and frozen. That's one thing. He's like, no, I can only eat wild salmon. I can't eat. Yeah.
And it's like if they didn't put wild or farm raised or frozen on the packaging, how many people would be able to tell what's fresh and what's not?
Yeah, fresh and I think you can tell that, but yeah, because
it's about we bought fresh or probably frozen before put them on that fresh display.
Probably, yeah. So we're talking about when you can, like, I don't know, but if it's people that are like, food, fine dining, whatever, every night, I'm like, they probably could, but that's why I was like, okay, well, he probably couldn't get away with it in Napa.
Right.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, they're not using fresh.
Yeah.
It's funny, I can, because I eat, because I am a foodie, I can tell when I'm eating frozen shrimp as opposed to fresh shrimp. Like, oh my God, this was once frozen.
Yeah.
It's easier to do with like seafood, but other things, I mean, to each his own. I think a lot of people make a big deal out of things, and vegetarians have their voice and their argument, not knowing that being a vegetarian destroys the earth just as much as being a person that eats meat.
Yeah.
So if that's your reason, find another fucking reason, because that's not a good enough reason.
Well, because if you're like getting your food from like, from like another continent, you still have like the environmental impact and
deforestation, you got overplowing, and these things are probably not growing naturally. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of things that go behind anything. I just tell people, eat what makes you happy. I mean, for me, health-wise, I had to cut out a lot of junk shit because it was fucking my body up. But I listened to my body and make those adjustments. Even makes me happy. Some people can eat fatty as fuck every day and they still look amazing. And I hate them, but that's their body. We all different.
So We are like about, I won't, so we are about to end this phase of the show. So we can, let me see. Okay, so this is Global History Radio, but there's a lot of other stuff going on this week too, on this channel. Right?
On this channel, we have Know Better, Do Better. Tomorrow is going to be going on. We're probably going to not do as a full-blown show as we do or have in the past, but we're just going to check in with everybody, do a wellness check for my fans, let them know we're still out here. We still struggling together, y'all. We are. We're thriving. So we got to get you on to the show. I know sometimes my topics are a little out there, but I'm gonna find the right thing to bring you on for, like, because I feel like we can dive into this insecure thing like so much more. We really scratch the surface for you non-watchers. Watch Insecure.
Yeah, well, I love talking with you. We always have like good conversations, which are like, real.
I appreciate coming on this show. This is the show that opened me up to wanting to do my own podcast. So,
wow.
It's inspirational as well as motivational.
Okay, and then thank you so much. So Friday night is happy hour.
Happy hour.
Yes, Friday night is happy hour from 8 to 9.
Yes.
To 10, 8 to 10. I'm saying 8 to 9. I know why I said 9 o'clock, but 8 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Saturday is Duck Soup. 8 to 10.
Duck Soup. And then there'll be a couple more shows, but January 29th is Bayard Rustin Symposium, which is going to be streaming. It's going to be in person and streaming. So covering a lot. Nervous, but yeah.
Oh, that's come around quick.
I know it is. It is. Okay. Good night, Facebook. Thank you, everybody.
All right, y'all. Anna's Historical Podcast Radio.
Yeah.
We out.
Thank you for having